All right, cool. Let's just start with tell us a little bit more about you, what you
Yeah,
do, and maybe how you got started in the space.
yeah. So my name is Chloé Lepeltier, as you'll be able to tell. I'm from France. I've been living here in Portland for about 3 years. I was in Southern California before that, and before that, Switzerland, China, the Netherlands, a couple other places.
Fantastic.
My works take me places, but for now, I think I'm gonna settle down here in Portland. My journey to zero waste was step by step. A friend of mine gave me a book many years ago that was written by a French author. Her name is Dominique Loreau, and the book was L'art de l'essentiel, which translates into the art of essential. She's a woman who had been living for many years in Japan and was really inspired by the whole minimalist movement, feng shui, and whatnot. So I read this book. It's the typical kind of book your friends give you. It's gonna change your life, and you're like,
No way.
it's never gonna happen. Usually, someone tells me a book is good, I'm gonna hate it. So I was like, it's not gonna work at all. I read it, changed my life.
That's
I
great.
started downsizing, getting rid of stuff. I had a job. I was making a good amount of money, and what made me happy is just to go buy a new pair of shoes a week. So I ended up with a big collection in my living room, my entryway everywhere. It was just like cluttered with things. And yeah, I started reading that book. Yeah, it made me think a lot about the things that I have in my life, material things. So I started downsizing, and eventually, once you're done with downsizing material things, you just realize that you can downsize other aspects of your life.
Very cool. Also, I find it, the term zero waste is, there's different definitions of it throughout the community as well too. And I kind of wanted you to, give us your definition or how you define zero waste.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a subject that needs to be addressed. Zero waste, like,
Right.
doesn't exist at all, right? No one can ever be zero waste. You're always going to be consuming something. I mean, I love that idea of just, you know, be producing that amount of trash a year, but that's still a little trash, so zero waste doesn't
Right.
exist. So there's a lot of talk within the movement to stop using that word, use low waste movement or a journey to zero waste. I like that idea as well
A
because
journey
it's
to zero
always
waste.
like a
Yeah,
process.
very nice.
The definition would be, I don't know, going from a linear economy into a circular economy. The idea of not buying something and then throwing it away. It's just like buying something and thinking about what it's going to become once you're done using it, because we tend to forget about what happens to things that we own after we get rid of them. Once they go to landfill, they go to the trash, but actually they have to be driven to the landfill, they have to be driven to the
Right.
recycling facility, and it takes energy to then convert it into something else and come back. So it's just the idea of thinking about the full circle of the life of things, I guess.
No, I love that. I think people get a little intimidated by the term zero waste and people holding up their jar, which I think is like,
I know.
I don't think I can ever get there.
Right.
It's people have
But
4 years worth.
yeah, it's a good goal.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
good example. I like the idea that this diversity in that sense in the zero waste movement. You've got the beautiful. I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. Having like the beautiful mason jars in your kitchen cupboards because.
Yeah,
like I said, I
of
started
course.
from scratch,
Yeah.
just bought a whole box of mason jars. But then you can always like reuse some jars, like I don't know, jam jars or something. So I like the idea that you have just as many ways of being zero waste as you can imagine.
Right. And so, what were some of maybe the biggest challenges when you started? I know it was pretty easy, you said, coming here, but what were the initial first things that you were like, oh, I don't know how to overcome that kind of a thing?
The first time you go to the market with your jars, you feel vulnerable, ridiculous. I don't know, so many things.
You're the only one there with a jar.
Right. I mean, yeah, definitely that store I went to in Southern California, I think they were like, what are you doing? You crazy French woman. Like, is that the way they do it where you come from? No, I'm joking, but yeah, there's definitely that step of I'm an introvert. I'm pretty shy, so it was definitely something hard.
And then so, I think we have a different range of people through the zero waste movement as well too. So maybe give us one of the challenges that you are actually encountering today, and how are you trying to overcome that?
For me, like I said, it's a journey. Um, you realize that things have a tendency to creep on you. It's forgetting to say no to the goodie bag that someone's gonna give you at a conference, and it's gonna be realizing that maybe those tortillas you could make yourself and not buy them packaged, even though the packaging is recyclable. It's just I have to constantly reevaluate things because it's easy to get comfortable in a situation, and it's a job,
Right.
to stay aware of things that creep into your life.
Totally, and
So
you have so many different things going on in life as well too. That's just the extra things for most people as well too.
yeah,
It's just that extra little step. And so, I mean, for you even, I mean, do you have to compromise in certain ways?
totally.
Yeah,
I can speak for this week. We have family coming to visit us.
right.
I'm not gonna force anyone to follow my lifestyle,
Right.
right? If they want to buy a pack of chips, they're gonna buy a pack of chips, and I'm gonna have to put that in my trash. I'm not gonna make them take it away, like throw
Right.
it somewhere else. So yeah, it's definitely yeah,
I
hard
think,
work. I
yeah,
mean,
no,
or
definitely.
interesting situations that can open a conversation, and all of a sudden maybe once they come back home they're going to think twice before they buy
I
something.
guess what do you think is the biggest misconception about this entire movement?
Yeah, that's a funny story. I host zero waste home tours, so I invite people to come to my house and have a look at how I live.
Right.
And I usually start those tours by saying I do have a trash can, I do drive a car, and we do use toilet paper. So yeah, that gives
That's
you an
great.
idea of what people could think. There's totally people who don't have a trash can, don't have
Right.
a car, and don't use toilet paper, and you would think, oh, they live somewhere far in the woods. No, they live in San Francisco. It's just that idea
Right.
of people have an idea of what a zero waster looks like. I mean, some people do, but
And so, I guess my last question is give us one tip for beginners, someone who's in the middle, and then an expert like yourself or someone like that.
beginners start by starting. It can be anything. We talk a lot here in the US about bringing your own mug because that's definitely a big source of
Right.
waste. And just making that decision or that purchase once is gonna have an impact whole year round, right? Because I don't know, maybe you use 200 paper cups a year by getting your coffee at the coffee store every work day, sorry. So yeah, just that one decision is gonna have an impact the whole year. Something a little more advanced or that's gonna require a little more work, try making something that you usually buy packaged. It can be a green cleaner. My recipe is 50% water, 50% white vinegar, a couple drops of essential oils, and that's it. You can pretty much clean anything. Or I don't know if you want to try it with cosmetics, have fun. I mean, I definitely tried to make my own mascara, to make my own lip balm, total failures. But it makes you, realize
Right,
that
yeah.
it's doable, or it makes you appreciate even more the work that some local makers are doing, and then you get to support them.
Oh, very cool. I like that.
Yeah, try something. I mean, we've tried so many things at home, but then you make a decision. These I can do on a weekly basis, like making my own toothpaste, that's fine. My own green cleaner is so easy, but like making my own tortillas, like that's my subject right now. I do
Me
have
too.
the tortilla maker, but I mean, yeah,
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 that's a tough one actually. I know
try
it's
it.
just like,
Or, we made our own bread, sourdough bread, we made our own
ooh,
kombucha, but eventually you
wow.
realize, I do work from home, so I can take more breaks and check on whatever's cooking in the oven. But I do realize that some people have 9 to 5 jobs and kids and families, so you
But
don't
just
have
even
the
take,
time to do it
yeah, but
all.
one step at
So
a time. Like
yeah,
this week's tortillas, then that's what you try to conquer one step
yeah.
at a time.
And then it becomes automatic, like, whipping a new batch of
Right.
whatever or making almond milk is now we don't even have to look at the recipe or think about it. It's just like the new normal.
Right. That's great. I love that. And so, I guess, where can people find you or contact you? And then, what's next for you as well?
So you can find me on my blog. It's called Conscious by Chloé. Same thing on social media. I also have another platform that I'm working on, that's called Zero Waste PDX. For now, it's just a map of all the resources you can find here in Portland, from bulk stores to vegan restaurants to the sharing economy, libraries, tool libraries, kitchen libraries, so many different things. All of the resources that can help you on your journey to zero waste here in Portland. And this platform is actually going to become what's next for me, which is a sustainability consultant, because I'm so happy to share all of those things I do at home with individuals, but I also want to get involved with businesses and help them be greener.
Love it. Can't wait. Chloé Lepeltier.
Lepeltier.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
And everything's going to be in the descriptions below, more info on everything, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.